Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy! Welcome back to more Pokemon White version! Last time, we picked ourselves off of the very filthy ground surrounding the Pokemon League, marched right back in there, and showed Alder who was boss! We gave him a fight that, honestly, we kinda whooped him. I think it just showed that we were having bad luck on that first attempt. I used my team members at more optimal times, and we just kinda did it. I didn't need those stinking rare candies at all. This time, we find ourselves back in Nuvema town for the third time, I guess. And you know what that means? Now we're gonna have 3 moms! Oh, man. I was hoping I'd earn another mom every time we came back here. I wonder where you'll go next and what kind of Pokemon you'll meet. I would have also gone for having 2 lookers and 1 mom. This is getting a little bit strange. Well, we head outside. And I hate to tell you, Mom, but we aren't meeting any more new Pokemon. We've kind of already met them all. It's kind of a shame, actually, when you put it that way. We're heading into Juniper's lab. Because there are things that open up after you have defeated Alder. First, I think we can do a Pokedex evaluation. Why, hello, Blair. How have you been lately? How's your Pokedex coming along? Can I see it? I haven't been too great, but I picked myself right back up, and I'm doing a lot better now that we're the champion. Oh, you've seen 150 Pokemon in the Unova region. I've seen more than that, thank you very much. I've seen 150, well... Oh, there might have actually been a few I haven't seen then. Never mind. Because I was about to say Genesect, Meloetta, and Keldeo should do that. With a little more, it'll be complete. I'm really glad I asked you to do this. Keep up the good work. Have I not seen all of them? No! I have never seen a Rufflet. I've never seen a Vullaby or a Mandibuzz. Never seen a Svilas. And one other. I've never seen a Ferrothorn! I sang high praise of that! Also, I've never seen an Amoonguss. Those are in the wild. Wow, Amoonguss and Ferrothorn I was not expecting. I guess the trainers of Unova don't like using good Pokemon, but I guess I've kind of already criticized their teams enough for us to know that. Cedric. So you've come here to show your Pokedex coming along, right? I see. You've caught... At least it's my favorite number. I'll take solace there. You might want to revisit places you've already been. Retrace your steps in the Unova region and see what new Pokemon turn up. Sorry, buddy, I've been there, done that, I just suck. Bianca, however, is a bit of a new addition to the lab. She pets the Patrat. Professor Juniper is letting me help out. When I was looking at my Pokedex, I realized something. I met so many Pokemon during my journey. I just want to learn more and more and more about the little darlings. Oh yeah, that's right. Blair, do you know about massive outbreaks of Pokemon? Indeed I do. I knew you'd know, Blair. I'm sure you also know that lots of a certain Pokemon appear in the grass all over, and that if you look at the electric signs on the route gates, you can see what the mass outbreaks are happening in the Unova region. I have to study lots of Pokemon research, but I don't mind. This is the answer I found during my adventure. It's actually a lot of fun. I have an idea. Every now and then, come have a Pokemon battle with me, okay? Because by doing that, I'll learn a lot more about Pokemon. There is one change that I'd like to make to the team before trying that, and that's giving Rock Slide to Terabyte. I do like Aerial Ace on it for being able to counter grass types that would otherwise resist Earthquake, but honestly, after this, there's really no grass types that I'm afraid of. Heck, I probably should have even done this a little bit sooner because of Alder's bug-type team. I do think now is still a good time, though. Aerial Ace, goodbye. The rest of the team is looking as strong as ever. I wouldn't change a thing about any of you ragtag bunch of bumpkins, but Terabyte, oh, Terabyte, you need to buck up your ideals. You were the one slacking. You were the one who needed to change the moveset on. How dare you? I feel so dirty saying that about Terabyte, and not just because he's a ground type. I think Hex can be our leader yet again. Yeah, I'm thinking Hex. Ooh, that's kind of neat. If you get your silver on and stand in the back left of the lab, you can see a hint that there is dark grass on Route 1, even from the very beginning. I never knew about that. That's kind of clever. Shows you that there's more there, and even foreshadows that mechanic a little bit, because the grass looks different. Intriguing. As intriguing as something I already knew about can be, anyway. Even though she says she wants to have a battle with you, she's in no hurry to do that. But, you know, who can blame her? Okay, I'm not going to act like that. I'm going to be a graceful opponent. I have learned much humility and all that other crap from Alder. But because she always is standing at that desk and then only starts pacing around when I walk in the room, I like to think I at least make her a little nervous. Oh, Blair, would you have a Pokemon battle with me today? Great. Blair, we'll be battling indoors, so don't get too worked up. I already brought that up. I'm remembering the complex theming that is the fact that we began our journey battling you, and we're kind of coming back around and doing it again in our last visit to Nuvema Town. She's grown a lot as a character, but she still has not gotten that glitch with her bag fixed. She's starting off the fight with Stoutland, level 63, normal type, Intimidate for its ability, which is why I've gone with Hex to start off this fight. And it has the moves Return, Ice Fang, Surf, and Wild Charge. Everyone just loves giving their physical attackers Surf as a move. It seems to be the hot thing that all the kids are doing these days. As you notice, she's not very high leveled whatsoever. It's very weird, but she will only battle you after Alder has been beaten, even though her team is a good 14 or so levels below his. Charon doesn't have this requirement. Bianca is your reward for defeating him. It's a little weird. I don't know if it was fully intentional or not, but that's the way things are. And it doesn't really seem like it's widely documented because a lot of people were asking me why I hadn't done this yet. Chandelure is a new addition to her team. It is level 63, Ghost Fire type with Flash Fire, and the moves Return, Shadow Ball, Overheat, and Psych. For this, it's going for Overheat. I don't doubt that for 1 second. At 10 levels higher, Ottawa doesn't need to worry about having to outspeed this thing. We've already had the guinea pig that was Shantan. And even though I don't 100% agree about placing Bianca after Alder and making her lower leveled than Alder and lower leveled than the Elite Four for that matter, and lower leveled than Charon now that I say that one out loud and think about it more, I do like how she is the final rival battle and not Charon. I know that some people might think that it's a little bit strange, or maybe they wouldn't like that much because Charon always came off as stronger, but I like this a lot for Bianca. When I played Black and White for the first time, I thought that Charon was the cool rival because, oh, he's tougher and, you know, he's the guy that we always got to beat. He's the one that we're struggling to keep up with. He dresses kind of cool and all that. And however, after learning the full story and having it sit with me for a while, I don't like Charon very much. And I've realized that I consider Bianca the better of the two rivals. Charon's always on and on about finding himself and how he needs to get stronger. And I've seen that a lot of times in other characters, and by the end of the journey, he's still talking about how he needs to find himself. Meanwhile, Bianca started at the bottom. She was losing fights to Team Plasma and stuff like that at the beginning, even had her Pokemon stolen. Yet, by the end of the journey, she knew what she wanted to do with herself. She proved her usefulness tenfold to the group by being a bodyguard and helping Professor Juniper with her research, being somewhat of an assistant. She knows what she wants to do with her life. And none of Charon's moments, I think, even come close to approaching Bianca's moment with her dad. That is one of the single best moments in the story. And it's all because of her, and she develops from that moment. She is the better rival. I've completely neglected to mention her movesets whatsoever. Her theme, Charon had a theme where he used held items in all of his Pokemon. Bianca has taught Return to all of her Pokemon. Her team is pretty much what you'd expect. She has the Musharna that she started the journey with and the Elemental Monkey. That's another thing. Her team is way more interesting because she has kind of stories behind all of the team members that she's gotten, with the exception of her two new ones with Minshao and Chandelure. On all fronts, I think she is a better character. I think she's the better rival. Even if the fight itself's not very climactic, downright anticlimactic a little bit, I welcome her being the final rival battle. She 100% deserved it, and I'm really happy that I finally had a chance to say that those are all the reasons I think Bianca is the better rival, because not all of them were apparent early in the story. Phew! I'm totally sure, Blair. You're a really strong trainer. I love your style of Pokemon battling, Blair. Somehow, your Pokemon look like they're having so much fun. 'Cause they winnin'. She will battle you every Saturday and every Sunday, once daily. She's a little bit weird in that I've had times where I've messed with the clock and she wouldn't battle me, and other times where I did mess with the clock and she battled me anyway. Not sure what the correlation there is, but I guess maybe the Juniper family's time and space distortion machine is only working every now and again because they have an older model, unlike the Riches. Moving right along, that is the first of a few things that open up after defeating Alder. The second one requires us to run into a wild Pokemon all over again. I'm impressed that we made it 5 steps without running anything, and I was very hoping that you would be a shiny. We're running out of time to find a shiny if we're going to find anything at all, so I want that to be a reality. The first of the rewards is that if you go to the PC... Congratulations! Wallpapers were added to commemorate your victory against the champion. I'd like to show you every wallpaper that we have earned. Reshiram, Zekrom, Monochrome, Team Plasma, Muna, Zoroark, Subway, Musical. There's the bog standard ones that you have at the beginning of your journey, of course. I find it a little bit odd that these are separated into separate folders like Scenery 1, 2, and 3, yet Special has a Next and a Previous button, meaning that they didn't have to do it that way. Under Miscellaneous is Poke Center, Machine, Checks, Simple. That's very simple. Almost, well, I wouldn't say too simple. It does at least have the shading, but that is a very appropriately named PC box wallpaper. That's every one of those. And now we have records. Access the record system. First game clear shows you the team that you used to defeat N with. As this was not entering the Hall of Fame, it has to have a bit of a different name as it didn't really work. It saves your moveset, shows you pretty much everything about the Pokemon that you would ever care to know about how you defeated them. And of course, the Hall of Fame. Shows you the team that you defeated Alder with. I believe it remembers 20 Alder defeats in total before it starts deleting old ones. This next thing is related to the PC, and it's actually a correction. I didn't know this, but some of you informed me of it. I've mentioned that you only have 8 PC boxes, but you're able to get more if you fill up all the PC boxes. That's actually not correct. Kyogre, Groudon, you transfer fodder will finally have meaning in your lives. It's not like you created the continents in the ocean or anything like that. After you have stored 1 Pokemon in every box, go out and go back in. You will now have 16 PC boxes. Only requirement is just to have 1 Pokemon in every box. And beyond that, you can repeat this process to get 24 boxes in total. Sadly, that's all that opens up. Nothing else. Not even a trainer card upgrade. You got that for defeating Getsus and not Alder. So, the very next thing that I would like to talk to you about are various things that were missed along the way, things that you guys wanted to see, and just generally kind of wrapping up all the little topics along the way. First and foremost, and actually kind of relevant to where we are right now, out on Route 18 was 1 Pokemon bio that we never did, specifically the Swarm. Execute. It's a glass cannon. Walking on eggshells much? It's slow with a ton of weaknesses, making it a bit hard to get use out of its big special attack. Definitely works best on Sun teams more than anything else because of its ability. Other than that, it can have Psychic when caught, but it's a bit disappointing in that it just doesn't learn a very wide variety of moves. Maybe you like Execute a lot and you just want to go for it anyway. It is far from the worst Pokemon that you could add to your team at this point in time. But just be warned that it might be hard to slot into the team that you've already constructed. And that, my friends, is every single Pokemon bio in all of Pokemon Black and White. There are no more new Pokemon for us to find. Those are all the ones that we missed. We're good. Forever. Out on Liberty Pier, this is going to be another bit of a minor thing. I didn't know about this, and I have no way of showing it to you because we've already caught it, but Victini will never go away no matter how many times you defeat it. You get as many chances as you like, which is pretty forgiving, and I very much welcome that. If they're going to put a legendary battle right at the very beginning of the adventure, they should make it forgiving like that so you're not screwed and if you're not familiar with the series conventions. I like that a lot. And it's actually a really good grinding spot if you're having trouble against Berg. He's no joke. Heck, I lost to him once, and I do stand by him being one of the challenging fights in the game. I think one of the player's guides even recommends that you grind against Victini if you're having a hard time with Berg because it's level 15, it's good experience, it might not be held by a trainer, but still gives you a lot. And on the note of Victini being able to be rebattled, every time that you defeat Alder, from here on out, every legendary Pokemon that you failed to catch will be back where it was before you defeated it. You get as many chances as you like as long as you can defeat Alder. Going back into the nightlife around the city, there's nothing in Castelia that we can do. Which I can't believe I am saying, considering just how many videos we have spent in this one location. It almost makes me feel somber for Castelia now that it's all over and there won't be any more videos set entirely within it. Almost. Next, in Driftvale City, we get to hear the song once again, but I've already let you listen to it plenty of times, so I'm just gonna kind of go quickly here. There's a Team Plasma Grunt that has been here since we defeated Getsus. I used to be part of Team Plasma. I have various kinds of incense. Welcome! How may I help you? You can buy all of the necessary incense for breeding, evolving, and increasing the power of various moves. Every incense can be bought here for the same price. I guess I just thought this guy was here from the beginning, and he's not, so it got skipped over. Pretty minor, but there you go. If you want to obtain any of those incense items, they can all be purchased under one convenient roof. The next thing is an amendment. Unfortunately, not to the pronunciation of this area. Lacunosa Town. I had mentioned that only a Fateful Encounter Shaman can obtain you the Grisadia from this girl, and that one caught with Oak's Letter will not do the job. That is only a half-truth. If it is an Oak's Letter Shaman caught in Platinum, then it is automatically converted to a Fateful Encounter Shaman, and it will work. If it is an Oak's Letter Shaman caught in Diamond and Pearl, on the other hand, that is considered as a hack shaman, rightfully so, and you can't do it. Very slight technicality, but I thought I'd let you know nonetheless, just in case you wanted to obtain it for yourself and thought that you couldn't. We came to Lacunosa Town for not one, but two very good reasons. This was something I also was not aware of, and people made me aware of it, so thank you for that. Grandma falls asleep if you try to hear her story at nighttime, because she is, well, tired, kind of going in line with how the theme of Lacunosa Town is that everyone has a set schedule. In the daytime, things go a little differently. Would you like to hear an old story of Lacunosa Town? Bear with me, because I'm an old lady who likes telling tales the old-fashioned way. She doesn't use no stinking app to tell it for. There's a great big hole at the back of this town. A long time ago, a huge meteor fell from the sky and made the big hole. A very scary monster was hiding inside the meteor. People say the monster appeared in the village at night, bringing a cold wind, and it stole away people and Pokémon. So the villagers built big walls to keep the monster out, and made a rule that no one could go out after dark. Of course, nowadays no one believes in such things, but you know, even now, the people of this town stay inside after dark. Isn't that strange? I guess old stories and old traditions have some influence in our current life. The full timeline of events is that a long time ago, a meteor fell to Earth that Kyurem was inside. Kyurem was once Reshiram and Zekrom as one Pokemon. Kyurem was feared by the people of Lacunosa Town. The two heroes in the ancient past came to investigate this legend, discovered Kyurem, and the two of them, each seeking truth and ideals, who befriended Kyurem, caused it to split into two beings. Reshiram and Zekrom that we have today, and the Ice Dragon Kyurem was the empty shell that was left behind. It's interesting how Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem are merely aliens with unknown origin. It reminds me of how antagonists in older games have very up-to-interpretation backstories where they're just simply aliens, but I like it when it's left open to the imagination, and I feel like there's a lot of potential for backstories in them, which maybe we'll find out what they truly are one day, maybe we won't. Either way, it's pretty cool by me. Last on the agenda today are smaller things. The little tiny details that didn't fit in quite anywhere else that I wanted to talk about and that you wanted me to talk about. And I thought, what a cozier place to talk about such things than a little cabin in Isurus City. Oh, well, I guess you guys can stay here too. Let's talk a bit. First, the ability Poison Touch was rebalanced from having a 20% success rate to a 30% success rate outside of Japan. It's one of the very few times that a move or ability has had its usage rebalanced in one localization cycle, and it stayed that way for the rest of the games, meaning that in the way of game balance, the English version of Black and White was actually pretty influential for localization standards, at least. Next, I'd like to talk about Pokemon move topics in particular, as moves are an important part. Heck, I've spent probably several hours combined talking about the ins and outs of how different ones work, so why not spend a few more seconds on it talking about some pointless little trivia. The move Imprison has consistently, throughout the series up to this point, had a different animation in Japan where its Japanese name was worked into the animation itself. You can see what it looked like here. Reshiram and Zekrom do not just have Fusion Bolt and Fusion Flare as signature moves. I never did go back and talk about them, and I meant to, it's just that I didn't discuss them when we went over them in bios, as it wasn't important to anything that was going on in the moment, as their other two signature moves, Blue Flare and Bolt Strike, are learned at level 100. These are 130 power, 85 accurate, special moves of their types that have a 20% chance of either burning or paralyzing the target. They're powerful, and very nice moves if you can get them up to that level. Very strong moves, and if you swear that you've seen these on Reshiram and Zekrom anyway, even though you never raised them up to level 100, that's because they have done countless distributions over the years where they distributed them already knowing those moves. In fact, it's so common that I'm willing to bet that's how most people know about them. Second is that there is unused text in black and white that hints that Defog might have returned as an HM move and that Fog might have been a game mechanic. There are places that are covered in deep fog on most days, but when you enter battle in those locations, there's no "the fog crept up as thick as soup" text like there is in the memory. Personally, I am thankful that they did not do this, because it's already bad enough that we have to deal with Flash. Thankfully, they at least had the sense to make Flash infinite use again, so it wasn't hard to get a Pokemon that had it if you forgot who you taught it to, or if you just erased it with a better move like most people probably did when they tested it out to see what it did back in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I am thankful that this HM move is now a thing of the past. Now, if only they could just get rid of HM moves as a whole. The next thing to do is maybe you're not happy that Nurse Joy called you a preschooler. I know I sure as heck wasn't in the moment. You can change your title and what you appear as in multiplayer as often as you like by just simply tapping on them on the touchscreen. You can also change your nature. You cannot, however, change how many Pokemon you've seen in the Pokedex without having a Game Shark. The next topics are a bit more musically oriented. It is hinted that Keldeo, Meloetta, and Genesect were originally going to have boss fights even though they don't, and you know how I feel about that. So what is this proof, you might ask? If you were to hack the game and make it so that you could encounter them in a wild Pokemon battle, they still play the boss music even though there is no fight coded for them. The little side topic that I have saved for last is what I personally consider to be by far the most interesting. And though not unused music, there is some incredibly remote music that I doubt you have ever heard playing in your copy of the game. If you have heard the song, I would love to take a photo with you at some point. It is that this is the first game in Pokemon that recognizes if you are playing in a finals match at the Pokemon World Championships. If you are, you get this battle theme. It's a remix of the Pokemon Red and Blue final boss music, and it's so grand, and I feel kind of sad that most people haven't heard this song, and if they have, it was probably in a live stream with commentators talking over it, because this is a great piece of music that really deserved to be heard by more people. I did hear that some people got slick and were able to make the game behave that way in local tournaments and stuff like that, but I think the point still stands that it deserves to be heard by more people, and you should definitely look it up and give it a listen, should you have a hankering for great Pokemon music you've never heard before. Feels surreal to say it, but that's all of it. That's all of the little tiny things that have opened up after beating Alder, and just that we never got around to seeing otherwise, or that I just straight up didn't know. Well, we still have some other things to do, and not just going to that certain villa in Undella Town. Next time on Pokemon Black and White, I think I'll leave it a surprise. You'll just see what we got lined up. See you guys then.